Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weaverbirds Live TV with me, Karen Weaver, and
Emma Weaver, and I have internet.
yes, Emma, shame on you for
I
last week.
know. I
And on
was
your birthday,
mortified.
like, for goodness sake,
I know,
what
and if my birthday is right, but I was Lillian in the mobile, so I mean I didn't realise there wasn't any internet. Because I was using the internet, but obviously whenever you go to do live, it just wasn't happening for me. But these were fab anyway, so at least you didn't have to sing happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm in hiding in another room in my house. As you can see, background's different. Hello, Peace Mitchell. Peace is
Hi,
here.
Peace.
We were just chatting with you backstage with Lisa, so
Yes,
we'll
I
chat
think
more.
Peace is going to really enjoy meeting Lisa virtually on Weaverbirds.
Yeah, Peace Mitchell, meet Lisa Strutt. You'll have to connect afterwards. See, I'm a job done. There we go.
There you go. We
So,
just go.
so it was your birthday week, and the we like to talk about the week that was. So, how was your week? What happened?
I had a lovely, relaxing weekend up in Benone on the beach, just doing the simple things. Sometimes it's the
Mhm.
simple things that are best. And then I hit the ground running on Monday because, as I mentioned last week, this is my last week with Inspire. So tomorrow is my last day. All things mental wealth international ready to come out of the bag, which is absolutely amazing. Although it's already established, there's a lot of things happening, but there's a lot more things going to be happening now, so it's very exciting. And also, oh my goodness, I am in love with the cover of the colours of me. The cover of, oh my goodness, that
Isn't
is
it
like,
beautiful?
it was one of those moments where you could feel that it's going to be something really powerful and exciting. And I am genuinely so proud, Karen, to be the ambassador for that book.
Yeah, it's a fabulous book. I wrote the foreword during the week, so I was before it went to print. I was on the last legs, but I was reading some of the stories, and wow, bring the tissues, but bring it's so powerful. Holy moly, that's an amazing book,
Yeah.
and all the vision of Michelle Wheatering and Kez Wickham St George, who came to me and said, "Karen, we'd like to put together a book. Can we go for it?" And I was like, "Go for it." And then all these people gravitated towards this book that were perfect for it, and that's magic. That's just
Yeah.
true magic when you put something in place and then exactly the right people gravitate towards it. So I
And
was
it's
like,
completely global. I mean, there's
yeah,
people from all over the world in this book. So it
it's very
is
true.
truly amazing.
It
So
is.
big things happening. Absolutely delighted. What about you?
So,
I know you've
well,
loads of things.
let me just bring us back to the point that you are leaving Inspire after 22 years. Now, I am going to share with you a little bit of backstory back to Emma, who at 16 years old was, was such a young mom and had such a passion and such an intention that she was going to study this and go to college. And you were very, very clear, and you had a very deep knowing, and we talked about this bit before, but you went and you juggled motherhood and being present as a mother and doing getting your qualifications, and you didn't just stop at one qualification. You went further and further, and you earned every bit of that job, and you have been there showing up for 20 years, 22 years, doing things that people just couldn't do, if only you can do. So they're really going to miss you. But what I'm so proud of is to look at you, and you just have the deep sense of knowing, because it takes courage to step away from a good paying job and into your own business. Peace Mitchell, do you hear that? She's stepping away from a very good paying job into her business, because 100% this is the next step
Yeah.
on your journey. So huge kudos to you, sis. I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you. You know, I always get
Oh.
emotional when you say you're proud. So thank you very much.
Well, you
And
know where to start with whenever you're writing the book about this, because you will have to write this
I know.
because it's such a journey, such an amazing
Yeah.
journey.
And I mean, Mental Wealth International, wow. I mean, even the feedback and the information that has came even from that, and the people, that I've been able to go out and support and help already is unreal. Unreal. Thank you, Peace. It's a leap of faith. It's that knowing.
Well, it's so timely because, especially with going through the global pandemic, a lot of, well-being is being compromised, and our health is our wealth, especially our mental health. Because if our minds aren't healthy, you can't function in life. So it's just so important. So amazing, amazing. All right. So from my end, lots happening. My daughter is much better this week, which is wonderful. We've got that all under wraps. And I was just saying to the girls backstage that when I was at hospital, I had this urge to write an article for Forbes, which is with their editorial team at the moment. And it was called Do you have time in your business for a personal crisis? And it was a very powerful article that I wrote when I was in the midst of it, actually in the hospital. And because I just felt it was such huge gratitude that I could just step out of my business for 2 weeks, do little bits at my own, without any pressure, because my business can still run without me in it every single moment of the day, which is a very powerful thing, because things happen in life. And if I'll whole weight, and I would have been overwhelmed if I couldn't have shown up, and I could just step out and do what I needed to do to help my daughter heal and get her to where she is now without having to worry about business. Isn't that amazing? I was like, wow.
Truly amazing life and business by design, Karen, that you have built around your family and the needs of the kids.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And that's what it's so aligned with my values, because I want to be there and I feel blessed to be there as well. We've lots of amazing comments from Peace. Peace, I love your comments. But here's one here from someone very special.
It's Chloe! Hi,
Chloe! Exciting times indeed. Chloe is Emma's daughter. Awesome. So, and basically, so many people will be inspired by you taking this step, Emma. It is an inspirational story, so own it,
yes,
and share it.
I will share it. I promise.
And Peace says, yes, that's the power of having your own business, the freedom to do what we need to do. Absolutely, it's beautiful. So, one thing I didn't talk about last week, and I should have.
See something?
But Clubhouse Culture. Yay! It is launched this week. Peace is in here.
Oh, lovely.
And this is led by Pete Cohen. But what's really exciting about this book, and Dylan actually designed it, and it looks like Clubhouse inside.
Oh, lovely.
But every single penny from this book goes to the Cocos Foundation. So we have sponsored the editing, the design, everything. We've covered the cost of that. And every single penny from every sale goes to, all proceeds go to the Cocos Foundation. And last weekend, Pete Cohen on Clubhouse hosted a room that actually raised $10,000 to get this orphanage the farm that they need, so that they can feed themselves. Yeah. And so they've done that, but all of the rest is going to this Cocos Foundation, which will go to that orphanage. And then once they do what they need to do there to get all the kids fed and everything, we'll move to another orphanage. So they're actually a UK charity. So amazing book.
Well done. Done.
Yay, Clubhouse Culture. It's so amazing, making good things happen through the power of the written word. And so many people have showed up in here. Dame Kelly Holmes, do you see her's in there?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, she's in there. And Rob Moore's in there. Some big profiles. But you don't know this yet, sis. And I have to hurry up because we have to get Lisa on.
Oh God, what is coming out?
Quantum Love.
Oh my God.
And this is so divine. This is a collaboration with me and the amazing Adria L. Peters. And it's like a quote book where we talk about all different types of love, unconditional love, see there. And oh my God, this book, like I know I co-wrote it, but goodness, I sat with it. The energy of it just fills you with.
We need to get Adria back on now.
We'll get Adria back on. I'll give her a shout out. But this book, holy moly, it just supercharges you, energizes you, ready to go and pump loving energy into life and make amazing things.
Oh, happen. And it looks stunning.
It is designed to go with the Law of Love that's coming out soon. So just letting you know.
Hey!
Now it is time.
Guess who we have? I'm so excited.
we have Lisa Strutt and Emma. I met Lisa Strutt at the Castle in 2019, but I feel like I've known her before then through Emma because we're so connected.
Can
And,
I
and
just
Emma
say,
and Lisa.
it's really funny how we met, because I was part of a Tomorrow's Leader program here, and you had to drive. I live in Fermanagh, and you have to drive like 2 hours to Belfast and back again to go anywhere. And Lisa was an integral part of that, along with Paula. And it was about bringing women that wouldn't necessarily get opportunities to become leaders. There was a group of load of people, and we were actually going to the American Embassy in Belfast, and I had never met Lisa, but I had rang the night before to ask some details about the course, and it was Lisa that you got on the phone, and she came into the room, Karen, and out of everybody, we didn't know each other, out of everybody in the room, she sat beside me, and when we turned to each other and realized who each other was, we were like, this is like something's going on.
I love it
So
when
I
the
love her.
universe puts in. It makes you positions you beside each other like holy moly.
Yeah.
Meant to be. All right, guys, welcome to Lisa Strutt. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, everyone. I'm loving the energy on this call tonight. I'm feeling it across the internet. So thank you so much for having me.
We are so privileged to have you on this call because you don't do this very often. I know you've shown up for us.
No, this is. Am I on screen? Okay, do you need to move it?
Yeah,
there you are. Perfect there.
Yeah, this is good for me. It's good to be outside the comfort zone. That's where the learning and growth is. Said by a true coach.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Oh my
Lisa,
goodness.
now you do so much, right? I so much wonderful, and you've been, the head of so much change. But can you share with us in a kind of nutshell what you do?
Yes, thanks so much. The number one thing I do is really help people live their life with purpose. That's the elevator pitch right there. I help people really figure out what they want more of in life, what they want less of, and how to let go of those things and live more intentionally, be it in their personal life and their business, and achieve more and achieve it quicker.
Oh, Lisa, do you know what it is? It's so simple to say it in words, but putting it into practice, people need guidance because as humans, we make things way more complicated than we need to, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think people really, well, Usain Bolt needs a coach. The world's greatest athletes need coaches, teams need coaches. And I think what I love about coaching is just being a champion of someone else and asking them those questions in safe spaces that enable them to unlock their potential for themselves and have more of the life they want.
I have never. Now I'm a chatty person, and just to say, I'm one of Lisa's coaches. She's one of my fabulous coaches, the female coaching that we have. But I have never met anybody to ask such questions with relevance, and you don't even realize at the time where the questions are going, and then all of a sudden everything just clicks. And there's not a lot of people can do that, Lisa, and you do it just so fab.
Well, thanks, Emma. I think there's something that comes from, you appreciate this, Karen, we've talked about this before, from your values and how you were raised. And I look back on my childhood, and I'm the eldest of 4 kids, growing up in Northern Ireland, just outside North Belfast, during a time of a troubled season, shall we say, in our country. And I think those values of community, of helping people, of being there for other people, and using your gifts and skills and talents and strengths to make things better in some way. And that's very much how I was raised. And it's only much later in my life, looking back, that I realized all those building blocks were there. I mean, who grows up thinking I want to be a coach? It's something that kind of evolved and emerged for me. And I was saying to someone today, I was coaching before I realized I was a coach. And I think that tells you something, because it's something innate as well as a skill set that has been developed over the past 10, 20 years.
Oh, it's just like whatever you see the outcomes of whenever you show up and help others, and how receptive it is, and how, you know, you see people's lives change in front of your eyes just because of your guidance. It's a very special thing, isn't it, Lisa? It's a privilege.
It is. And when I get those comments back, because it's not really about me, it's about them and what's changed in their lives. That's
Yes.
what blows me away. You know, I'm spending more time with my kids. I've had a better conversation with my spouse than I've had in a long, long time. You know, I never set myself up as a life coach, but you can't coach someone in business without looking at their whole life.
Absolutely.
And I remember one of my clients saying to me, Lisa, when can we just get back to the business stuff and the leadership stuff? All this talking about me personally and who I am at home, I don't like it. And I said, well, then I'm maybe not the right coach for you.
Absolutely.
It starts with you. And I reminded them of that recently, and they were shocked that they'd even said it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the essence of what we're talking about here, isn't it? Change has to start from within you.
Absolutely. Can I just share one thing that happened with you that kind of got you noticed as well? Remember this special suit that you wore whenever you went to meet and you ended up at the Lean In, or you met Sheryl Sandberg or something? Tell us about that.
Well, I don't know if I can remember. Karen, let me cast my mind back. A lot's happened since then. So
it has.
When I moved to Northern Ireland, you know, but when I came back here 6 years ago, I had moved 8 times in 20 years before that. I'd lived all over Europe, and I came back here, and I was struggling. I'll be honest with you, I'm from here, but I was struggling to reconnect here. And I'd heard about Lean In, and I'd read about Lean In and Sheryl Sandberg's, you know, infamous book from 2013, I think it was, that was creating a real global movement. And I thought, I'm going to see if it exists here. And through that, I ended up meeting an amazing bunch of women in Belfast and doing some volunteering and leading programs with them. And because I had done so much volunteering with the leadership team, I was invited to meet Sheryl Sandberg in Dublin. She was on a visit here, tour, and we all went down and had great fun meeting her. And I had got this suit to wear, which it's quite a patterned suit. It's very noticeable. It's not a blend in with the background sort of. And she's so energetic and so lovely and just so personable and wants to hear everybody's story. And she bounced into the room with such energy and zest for life. And she just turned to me and went, whoa, any woman who can wear a suit like that deserves to be in this room. And I probably went bright red. That I do blush very easily. And when you've got the healthy skin, because you can see it. And that was just fantastic to meet her. And she's human just like us, and really interested in how women are building businesses, how women are stepping out, leaning in and showing up. And she's certainly been an inspiration to me over the past 10 years.
Isn't it amazing? Oh, there's so many stories to tell that we can explore. But let's chat about when we met at the castle, which was a beautiful location for us all to connect as a trifecta, because we've been speaking online and then you meet in person, and people will relate to this. People relate to, because especially during COVID, a lot of people have been on Zooms connecting that way, but you can really build connections online that can then be really gelled whenever you meet in person, can't you?
That's so true. And some of the most amazing people I've met in recent times I've met on Twitter. I've followed them, I've engaged with them, and then you meet them in real life. And when we met at the castle and we did your book, I remember doing your book group in that lovely drawing room, Karen, and that was a really special moment, because you have this ability to engage with people in such a way that they tell their story. I mean, it's what you do. I know I'm saying this, and all the people are going, yeah, of course, that's what she does. She's a storyteller. But when
Don't fear me, people.
in real life, and you see that in action, and how you your presence, we talked about the importance of presence and rapport building, and that, when it's done really well, looks very, very easy. It looks effortless, but that only comes from years of practice and observing people and being present with people, Karen. And I think that's a gift that you have and that you bring, and I certainly benefited from that in the book group.
Yeah, you're so beautiful and complimentary. I really appreciate it. I will accept that with love. Thank you. So where's the book, Lisa?
Where's my book? Well, I would love to write a book, and there's probably a few ideas in mind, and it might be a good time to bring up that probably the first book that I would write would be about grief.
Yes, please talk about it.
Yeah, so for the listeners, my husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer 3 years ago, and he died in October last year, after some good news and being given the all clear, and then some devastating news of being told he had terminal cancer, and then dying 18 months after that time. And it was around that time that we met.
Yes.
I think John had just been re-diagnosed, and the prognosis wasn't good.
Yes.
So I think there's definitely something that I would love to write about grief and being a youngish widow.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot around young widows. I think the age in my 40s is a strange sort of age to be a widow.
Yeah.
And even the word widow sounds old and dated.
You could explore that really. And one thing as well, whenever you're at the castle, you actually spoke about that you were invited there as an amazing expert, and you came and you spoke at the E&E. It was kind of like a TEDx kind of scenario, and you spoke about this. That is a very powerful speech, by the way. You probably were in a like a quantum level at that time between, you know, there's so much going on, but I think you should maybe get that speech, and we'll get it for you if you want, and transcribe that. That's a very powerful speech that you give that day.
Oh, thank you, Karen. That's nice to hear. And I would say there probably is a certain amount of experiences you have during that time that you're not really cognizant of, that even the writing process would really fire up some thoughts around, whoa, what did I just go through? What have I learned? And how has that changed me as a person? How does that change how I show up in the world? As a coach, as a mom, as a friend, as an entrepreneur, as all those things, all of the above.
There's healing.
It's not easy to explore, but it's very powerful, and it's one of the most therapeutic things that when you're ready, well, it will just, you know, it's amazing, the therapy.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Karen.
Sorry, I keep butting in.
Oh, you're all right. No, I talk to Lisa all the time. I'm quite happy for you to catch up with Weaverbirds. We be talking all the time.
It's a fab conversation, and I'm enjoying the format, because I think it makes it really easy to share and engage with people. And you know, I love, my story is my story, and I love to share it.
Yeah, so
and
important.
Your perspective as well, Lisa, you're coming from a different perspective, or maybe a familiar to some, where there was good news and then not so good news, and then your kids were doing exams, and there was just trying to juggle everything, and then being a mum in business. And I know Karen talked about it as well, being that soulful entrepreneur. You definitely are in everything that you do, and then again trying to pivot or kind of be yourself as well in the middle of everything else that was going on, and it certainly wouldn't have been easy, Lisa.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's something I'd love to share with people, that it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
And we were chatting about this, Karen, and your experience at the hospital with Kira, even the week before when John was in the hospice. I shifted my coaching calls to the morning time. That fired me up because I absolutely love what I do. It doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like I'm helping people achieve their goals, and I'm usually buzzing after a session and really upbeat and energized by it. So John's always been a huge supporter of my work, and he always wanted me to continue to do what I love, and he didn't see it as him or my work. The two, I'm just a mix of all that.
Yeah.
And I feel very grateful, and I suppose my learning from that is back to that question of values. When you're living in alignment with your values, then you've far fewer regrets. And less energy is expended on woulda, shoulda, coulda. And more of your energy is spent on being fully present with where you're at. And I'm going to say I wasn't always like this. This is many years work in progress. If we could wind the clock back and there was a video of me in my 20s, you would see a very different version of Lisa, who was non-stop, achieve. And I don't think we even knew what it meant to live in the present moment.
It is, and do you know what? It's such an important message, because, and you have every right to share it with the world, is that you can go through the biggest turmoil in your life and still show up for your business because you want to. But people can judge and say, oh my goodness, your husband has cancer, you need to be with them and not do anything else. Or your daughter has just been diagnosed with, and you need to do and be, but we do show up, and we are values aligned, and we are there for them 100%. But it's still okay to delve into what we love and are passionate about, because that fills our cups, that we can give more in there as well, doesn't it?
That is so true. It took me a long time to own that and live with that and let that sit okay with me. And I also think that that's part of the conversation that's so important for us to have for female entrepreneurs going forward, because the old traditional models of what business looks like aren't relevant. Right. And they don't endure in the space with the caring responsibilities, with all the other things that we as women may want to do. And I think that's part of breaking the mold of what business looks like, and how you can show up at home, show up at business, and when they're blended, and when there needs to be clear boundaries. And I think that's a really exciting conversation going forward, definitely, and I am all in with that.
I love this conversation because it's important. Find your way and do it well, and then you can show up in each time just so true to yourself and authentic that everything just flows through, and it's so important. And I love that word blended, and that's what it is. It's not one or the other. It's all blended together and all part of you, and it's what your driving force is. It's just so exciting to have that conversation, Lisa. We'd have to bring that one into another realm or into something to have that keep that conversation going.
Absolutely. And for anyone who's listening, sometimes what I love to do to help me get present in the here and now is fast forward and think about, especially with John having died at the age of 47. When you think forward and you think, well, if I got to an older age, if I got to the age of 80, what would really matter to me right now in this moment? Who would I want to show up and be? And it's a very, I'm a coach. I have to leave you on a coachy question. Who do I want to be in this moment? And thinking about even one change that you can make around that is a powerful question to ask yourself.
There you go. Who do you want to be in that? Wow. Okay, people, let's get to it. Lisa Strutt, where can people go and find out more about you?
They can go on to LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. I've got a new website coming out this autumn. It's going to be lisastrutt.co.uk. And you can connect with me by either of the beautiful, stunningly glamorous and engaging Weaverbirds.
Yes, we will send you Lisa's way. Thank you so much, Lisa. It's so honored to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, Lisa. Oh, Emma, wasn't that fun?
Wow, totally. Class. Oh my goodness, you could do a full 2 hours there, easy.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. And I just hogged the conversation. Sorry, sis.
Honest to goodness, I'd be chatting to Lisa all the time, but she just has something. She's just amazing.
Oh, absolutely. That's just given. Just showing up as Lisa, and we just love it. We embrace it. So thank you everyone for watching, and absolutely go and check out Lisa Strutt and what she's done. She's done some amazing articles and things like that, just really thought-provoking pieces that will just put you right into the space.
And here in Northern Ireland, she's actually at the forefront of a new piece of survey or information that's just went out about female entrepreneurs and why only a certain amount of people are showing up or receiving first-time funding. I think it's 1%. I'm probably quoting that completely wrong, but I posted it in my Facebook page. It was well worth having a read. Take a look at it and have a read, just to understand some of the amazing work that Lisa does for female entrepreneurs.
Emma, will you post it on the Weaverbirds page so people can go and find that? Awesome. Okay, everyone. Wow. Well, I really enjoyed that. Until next week, episode 28, we will see you next week, and Emma will be a free bird.
Yes, I will. I will be all mental wealth. I'll be introducing myself in a whole different way.
Yeah, Mental Wealth International will have wings. There we go. All right, everyone. See you next week. Thank you for watching. You.